All right, and we are back. Welcome back, everybody. And welcome, JamesBot. I think I can hear you. Let's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
All right. Just making sure.
Awesome. Excited for some more Evolve.
There we go. And we do have the brackets here. Let me get those updated real quick while I am just finishing setting up everything again after the break. How'd you guys enjoy the break? I hope you liked spamming your mortars. Although, you know what? I didn't see any mortars in chat. I wanted to see some mortars, and you guys are just spamming Now We Riot dongers. What happened to the Torvald mortar dongers?
Yeah, I think we need an example of what a Torvald mortar looks like.
Well, maybe we'll show them next break. Maybe we
Yeah.
can show them next break, and they'll get it figured out. But for now, the mortars are disabled yet again.
Yeah, maybe some people can go and research what the best mortar thing would look like in ASCII text.
It's just simple blocks. I mean, that's all it is. It's pretty straightforward.
So yeah,
All right.
will we be checking out, sir? What is the matchup we're going to be looking at?
It will be Epex Black versus Survivors of Sheer. We will be spectating from Epex Black's Hunter's point of view.
Awesome, that'll be great. I'm really looking forward to that team. So, looks like Dezu, a member of that team, really having a great performance in that last game, clutching it for his team.
Yeah, and we'll have to see if he can pull it out again. I didn't see the rest of the Survivors of Sheer game, so I don't know how strong the team is looking or anything like that. In fact, I'm still not even 100% sure what the score was in that series. Let's actually pull it up real quick and see if we can find out.
Yeah, I do have. I see here some people are thinking that I might be Green Lantern. Well, I'm just gonna dispel that myth. I just am a naturally green person. It's just who I am. So, but yeah, so Dezu really in that last game that we saw the importance of clearing wildlife there. There was multiple occasions there, and there was the critical point in which Mr. Biddle did get snapped up by that man-eater plant, which is definitely clutch in that fight. Slowing down Mr. Biddle, allowing Dezu to get some nice damage out on him, but really probably one of the most critical moments was when the Trapper got hit by that Leopard when he was taking a cutoff route to go cut off and get a stage 2 dome before Dezu could get full shields, but that Leopard put an end to that plan when he hopped on him, and it really bought Dezu a lot of time, and it led to actually that dome dodge, because like you were saying and pointing out, a lot of players will get that high ground because they know if they can jump downwards, you get that much more distance, and that little bit of distance that that Dezu got from jumping downhill was the difference between getting out of that dome or not. You could see the end of that dome like basically chopping off his tail, so it was really, really close.
Yeah, it was almost too close, but he did manage to pull it off and secure that win. Okay, so the quarterfinals bracket is populated. Just waiting for word from Nightmare right now for a lobby invite. No update on map picks and bans just yet. I would assume that they are still in the process of doing that right now.
And really, there's so many variables when it comes to Evolve. Like you saw there, just knowing the paths that you need to take and the terrain, the distance of the jumps that you can take, and even understanding the effects of wildlife. Normally, it was a little bit crazy there. That wildlife, I mean, even when you are killing wildlife, or even when you're not, seeing them sway the game that much although it was unfortunate, I must say it was entertaining. It was awesome to see Mr. Biddle. I was in shock when it happened. I was like, what is going on? How is he getting snatched up? But it was just that small man-eater plant just waiting to snatch somebody up. So what map will they be playing first when we go in? Do you know?
Well, we are still waiting. We don't have word on that yet. I'm trying to get word out to the teams right now, just to figure out what is going on, since we don't like to keep you guys waiting. We want to get as many games as possible. But sometimes the players going through the pick and ban phase can take a little bit longer than any of us might like.
Yeah,
I know you guys want to see games and we want to cast games, but it's really dependent on the players to actually start the games.
And it's not so much just picking a character. You really have to understand the play style of your opponent. What monster do they like to run? Because that's definitely going to affect your composition. And although yes, you do get to pick your assault afterwards, but we're seeing Hyde kind of come up in viability ever since this last patch. And that first game that we had casted, where it was averse, you saw how that Kraken was not able to handle that toxic grenade, which really can do a ton of DPS. So these teams, and understand that taking their time when picking the comp, you've got to do that, because you really need to understand and go into the game with the mentality, mindset, and strategy. And really, the foundation of that is what your composition is. So I understand why they would take that much time, because it is very important.
All right, and no word yet from Nightmare. Let's see. Yeah, we're hearing some confusion. The new tiebreaker rules that we referred to a little bit shortly ago might supposedly be in. I'm not sure. I'm seeing someone say that right now.
So the new tiebreaker rule in what terms?
For the ESL matches, actually. I don't want to go into the full details of them without actually having them listed, just because I don't want to mess them up. They're a little bit more complex, but I think they work out really, really well. They force whichever team is making a pick to really make a critical choice. There's additional bans, like the other side that doesn't pick is actually able to ban hunters or monsters. So it really makes you decide: do you want to pick what you want to play, or do you want to risk the bans?
Yeah, and that is an interesting element, because there are a lot of monsters that are very strong in one particular monster, but not so much in others. So with that kind of rule set, it really highlights and makes valuable the ability to play at least 2 or more monsters at a high level. And we haven't seen any really effective wraiths today and Krakens. But Dezu playing Goliath was able to do a great job at pumping out that DPS. But the day is still young, and we still got a lot of matches to cast, and it will be interesting to see if that is in fact the rules, how they play it, whether they value the ability to select their own composition or who they're going to play against.
All right. Well, it looks like we do have the first pick now. It looks like it will be MedLab first. No word on the second map or the third map just yet.
Yeah, so MedLab with that famous relay. We've seen a lot of really good relay fights, especially when you're running Maggie. We've seen players really try to utilize that ring as much as possible. But again, usually that comes into play at stage 3, and we haven't seen too many relay fights just yet today.
Yeah, we really, really haven't. It's always been stage 2 fights or stage 3 fights out in the open. There really hasn't been any clutch relay fights just yet. But, as the games get progressively more and more intense, we may see it here in the quarterfinals with Apex Black and Survivors of Sheer.
Definitely, and MedLab is just one of those maps where if you can juke the hunter or juke that trapper, then you can get back in those caves and have a safe spot to evolve. Even if they do catch up to you, there's many good spots to fight as a monster. You just want to make sure you don't get caught out in one of those intermediary spots. Really, if you're going to get domed, you want to get domed in an ideal location, somewhere where there's caves or some rings for you to work with.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's see. Oh, they're asking me to make the lobby. Interesting. Okay. Let me just send them a message real quick and see if we have the other maps. All right, and we're just going to get this lobby set up here real quick.
Yeah, and we haven't seen any tier 4 today. So like you said, with the rules, them not being officially in the rule books, it will be interesting to see if that argument gets made or if that has already been hammered out. But Torvald, I really had an opportunity to play him quite a bit just yesterday, and those mortars are quite a bit of fun to be able to toss out of your hand. It's really a lot of fun trying to lead the monster and hit him right on top of the head. It's very gratifying.
Okay, so we have MedLab first, then Distillery, and then Refueling Tower. Those seem to be the 3 most common maps, only we usually see Distillery as a tiebreaker, not as a second-round map pick. So this should be interesting. I like seeing Distillery played more than once in a given series, so now we will get to see at least 2 games on Distillery.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. Can't wait to hop in the game. But yeah, as I was talking about with Torvald, I don't know if anybody in the chat has really played him a lot or at all, but it is a lot of fun. He's got that shotgun which just empties the entire clip, and he also has this throwable mine disc. You're like an Olympian athlete just chucking this disc out at the monster, and it's a lot of fun getting those marks because they put out these marks that allow you to do additional DPS. So really, there's a lot of skill involved with Torvald in terms of leading the monster and understanding the time and traversal of your bullets and of those mortars and your disc. So if you haven't had a chance to pick up that expansion or those additional tier 4 players, I think it's totally worth it. I had a blast, especially with Sunny too. Torvald and Sunny were a lot of fun to play, and Crow also had a special spot in my heart. I didn't get a ton of chance to play Slim, and I don't do a lot of medic anyway, but from what I've seen, Slim is pretty fun too, and you got that cute little healing thing that follows people around.
All right, and we do have all 5 players here in the lobby right now. I just sent them the already message, and yes, okay, we are good to go. We have a game underway. Let's hop right in right now.
Excellent.
This will be Apex Black versus the Survivors of Sheer, the team that upset Wolves Esports in the round of 16.
Awesome. So I'm interested to see what picks they get. As you can see, we've got a waterfall in the background. And as you know, or may not know, if you are a hunter or if you're a monster, when you walk in that water, you are not making footsteps. So a lot of times what you'll see is if the other team rolls Griffin, you can take advantage of that water as the monster and lose the trail.
Yeah, absolutely. It also works for the hunters, though, too. You know, when hunters need to escape, popping your cloak as a support and then running into any sort of water is a great way to get away.
Yeah, that's a great point, because when you do sniff as a monster, if their other players are walking around, you can see those red little footsteps, but you don't see those when they're in the water. And that would have been great in that last match when we saw with Kyra. If Kyra was able to escape to the waterfall, you could get rid of all your footsteps. So you see here that they are going Maggie, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult to sneak, but again, it doesn't make it impossible. But yeah, we're going with that common composition that we see of Kyra, Hank, Maggie, and Markov.
Yeah, and once again, also against the Goliath of Dezu. You know, I wonder what he played in the first 2 rounds against Wolves Esports that we didn't get to see. Did he also play Goliath as well?
That's a great question. I would love to know as well. But as we saw in the last map, he did do a great job as Goliath. It seems, you know, he has the ability to play it and win. And so if it's working, you know, why fix it? Or if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So sticking with Goliath here, and he takes the path going uphill, heading towards the caves to get his eat on.
Absolutely, and this is a great spot to go. Very, very rich in wildlife. We will cover the team introductions in just a second. Want to give that dropship a little time to get in here. But for Survivors of Sheer, once again, the monster player who took a clutch 5th game win off of Wolves Esports, allowing his team to advance, is Dezu. And covering Team Apex now, just dropping in, we have Exemplify on Assault, playing Markov. We have Kildrith on Medic, playing Kyra. We have Apex Nightmare on Support, playing Hank. And we have the classic War Doom on Trapper, playing Maggie.
Awesome. I'm excited to see how this turns out. You can see this sloth here. How will Apex deal with the
Look
wildlife?
at him sneak by. Look at him sneak by the team right there. Wow. Oh, that Maggie trap is going to get a dome.
Oh, yeah, and you can see he used up the traversal, so he's not getting out.
No, he is not getting out.
Dome. Stage 1 dome, but he does have full shield, so we'll see if he tries to get a mark or if he does just try to mitigate this damage.
Wow, that Maggie trap literally enabled that dome for them. Was that not there, they would not have gotten the dome. But Dezu now advancing on 2 people at once, clumped up together. Nightmare still not fully healed up, and Dezu's going to get to the other side.
You could see that he went 1-1-1 there. He has all these abilities, and if you can use charge and leap smash effectively, then you can create some distance, especially when you're hiding around a corner. You can use the charge to push those hunters back away from you, and as well as leap smash. But we'll see how he's going to play this. It looks like he is just trying to mitigate.
Yeah, he's just kind of playing around here, but you know, if he is trying to mitigate, he's staying in a little bit too much. Markov doing a number to him with that lightning gun, Exemplify. I think this is the first time we've ever cast one of his games on Epex. Really doing a great job staying on Dezu here and dishing out some punishment. Dezu already losing over a full bar of life right here.
So yeah, definitely a not a great first encounter, but it's very similar to the first encounter that he had against the last team. In his last match, he was able to come out victorious. So it's definitely not over by any means, but definitely a solid fight there for the Hunter side.
Yeah, very, very solid. No strikes on them, and a bit of permanent damage done to the Goliath. And you know, that's got to be unnerving to be domed that early into a game.
Yeah, I think he can definitely shake it off, though. He can shake it off, and he's gone 1-1-1. He's gone 1 flame, 1 charge, 1 leap. So he might not have been expecting to get any marks there, and he was just trying to mitigate. So in his mind, I think he probably accomplished what he was trying to do. It is unfortunate that he got dumped, but if it all comes down to this stage 2. If he can get away and get this clean stage 2, then I think he will be pretty happy with what he's been able to accomplish.
Absolutely. We'll have to see if he can get away, though. Wardoom, look at that, 20 meters away, throws the dome, and Dezu actually goes onto Wardoom, guaranteeing his trap inside of that dome. You know, and they've got Wardoom back up to almost full health already. That was a misplay on Dezu's part. He's got nowhere to run.
Yeah, you could see that it was could have been a good opportunity to engage just because Maggie was a little bit low right there. But Maggie doing a great job of just kiting and putting down those traps, and now Dezu is forced to run. He doesn't have that much area to work with, so he is taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, he has nowhere to hide. They may be able to finish him in this dome right here. Once again, great placement on Maggie traps. One harpoon into another harpoon trap, locking him down in place, and look at the damage they got in from those harpoon traps. Another one comes out. They may finish him right here.
Fantastic placement of those traps. What you'll see from a good Maggie is that they place those traps where, you know, the line of sight of the monster, he can't trigger multiple traps at the same time, and you saw that come into play there where it was on one side of the tree. He destroyed it, and then when he went around it to the other area, he line of sighted the other, got stuck, and really nowhere to run. And it was just too tough to kite, and he ended up going down.
Wow. That was a very, very short game. In fact, I think it ended right around 4:20 on that clock.
Yeah, really good job of tracking that monster down and getting him in those domes and really doming in a spot that was really, really good for the Hunters. You know, you saw that he'd had that little tree there that he was trying to work with, but it just is not, it's not going to be enough. It's like if we were trying to hide behind a telephone pole, you know, you need something a little bit bigger than that to kite around. And you saw that it was just too open, and the Hunters doing a great job of spacing each other out and just putting damage from the monster from all angles, really not letting him sit in any one spot.
Yeah. Yeah, that was such a great dome. What a perfect place to actually dome the monster. And like you said, there was really nowhere for him to go.
Yeah, you really want an opportunity, somewhere where you can go beneath, like underneath the little cave walls, or at least have a big loop. He didn't have either one of those there, so really the only hope he had was focusing down one of the Hunters, but at stage 1 with only 1 point and 3 abilities, that was a tall order.
Yeah, you're right. Goliath really does not do well in stage 1 fights without some wildlife there to support him, or really catching the Hunters in a very, very poor position. We're going to get game 2 set up right here. This one will be on Distillery. Let me send the players a quick message to see if they're set with the picks, and once they're ready, we'll jump right into the next game for you all.
And Dezu, we've seen him play. We know he has the ability to take these games. It really just comes down to trying to juke that Hunter, or juke that Trapper. We saw in the game that he was able to win in that 5th and final match that they were running Griffin, and he was able to kind of have his way with Griffin, but Maggie presents a little bit more of a challenge with dodging those just because Daisy and sniffing. So it takes a lot of understanding of the AI and a little bit of luck to be able to make those jukes. But we saw that dome in the unfortunate position was the demise of Dezu.
All right, so the players have been notified. They will message us as soon as they are ready with the picks. Keep in mind, folks, the way that competitive Evolve works is each team actually sets up their Monster and Hunter picks behind the scenes before the game starts. The way it works is the medic and the Trapper both pick first. They announce them to the monster player. The monster player then responds with his monster pick, and then the hunters are given a chance to counterpick an assault and a support.
Yeah, and as far as the monsters that we've seen today, we have seen all three monsters played. You know, a lot of times we'll see most heavily just one monster being relied on, but we've seen a pretty good mix of all the monsters being played. With Goliath having the most success, though. Yeah.
Yeah, we have seen all three monsters picked today. We've seen Kraken, we've seen Goliath, and we've seen Wraith, and we are currently only in the round of 8 right now. We still have a bit more Evolve to go. We have all the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and the finals. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how things are mixed up going forward for the rest of this awesome Evolve afternoon.
Definitely. You know, it is a lot of fun watching the Wraith play. When you see a Wraith who is very offensive, with those abducts and trying to pull people out of position and then having the Warp Blast as well. It is a lot of fun to play, so it'll be interesting to see if one of the monsters does run that moving on in this tournament.
All right, just waiting for the monster pick, and then I'm sure Epex will have their counter picks almost instantly. Now,
Yeah.
what do you think? What do you think Dezu can do this game to kind of turn things around? I mean, Epex looked so strong against him, and you know, Nightmare even had told me earlier that their medic and their assault are both subs.
Yeah, so really I think maybe what he could do is go 2 flame, 1 charge, and then if he gets caught, you might have to just go for that mark. There's sometimes, if you can time your abilities right and use your overhead attacks, you can keep them in a tumble and keep control over one of the hunters. And really, you need to have that ability to continue to focus that one player down, which it is very difficult to do. It's very difficult to keep a player juggled. Otherwise, what he's going to have to do is just only get domed where he wants to get domed and try to live long enough to make it to that stage 3.
Yeah, you're right, and that's probably his best bet right now.
Yeah, and it's not just that, you know, it's easier said than done, because a lot of these teams, they'll bait you out into a bad position and get you domed where you don't want to be. So it is not easy by any means, but that is definitely a couple strategies that he could try to rely on. But we've seen Dezu come in and make quick work of hunters that get in bad situations in terms of wildlife. So he knows how to seize an opportunity. So also we'll just have to wait and see whether or not Epex makes any mistakes. Because if they make a mistake, we've seen Dezu punish other teams for it in the past.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. He has done an excellent job of capitalizing on mistakes against Wolves Esports. So I think that's what he will be looking for. And you know what it may have been? It may have just been him possibly, you know, I don't even know what to say. Just not expecting the dome. I don't know. But that leap pounce, or leap smash onto the Trapper, you know, basically created that entire situation that he got stuck in. And
that's a great point that you
caused
bring up.
A cascading series of effects that lost him that game in very, very short order.
Yeah, now that you mention it, it did kind of seem like he thought he had an opportunity to potentially get a quick mark on the Trapper. You saw that he went for that leap, because and Maggie was already a little bit low. So he might have thought he had the opportunity to, even though he had only 1 point in his abilities, to get it down on the Trapper very quickly. So that was the gamble that he took, and it would have been, if it paid off, it would have been very good for him, and he would have been in a great situation. But as you saw, the way it worked was Maggie was able to get up, get out her harpoon gun, and start putting down the harpoon traps, and able to kite effectively until her medic came over and was able to get her healed up. So that was the gamble that he took there, and it just didn't pay off. It was just very close. He had the opportunity, but he just was not able to execute. But it was a good idea.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It was a good idea, but he just needs to have a better idea next time.
Yeah, well,
and I'm sure that's what he's looking to do, right?
Yeah, if he was able to prevent that Maggie, like he needed to, if he was able to get that leap smash, which was good, if he would have been able to follow that up with an overhand swing and prevent Maggie from making it up that cliff face, he may have been able to keep her locked down on that wall, or that cliff side, and able to get a mark down quickly and then lower that dome. And if he would have been able to do that, it would have been a very good situation. But as we saw, he was not able to get his hands on Maggie, and Maggie was able to get up that cliffside safely and start getting down her harpoons. And I don't know if you've ever experienced the chasing Maggie as a Goliath who's getting harpoons down, but it can be quite infuriating.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It can be beyond infuriating sometimes when you get trap after trap after trap.
And so it looks like it is this same comp that they'll be running as Markov, Hank, Maggie, or Kyra, Hank, Maggie, Markov. CCMM.
And here we go, right into game number 2 on this side of the series.
Yeah, so, yeah, Kyra, Hank, Maggie, Markov is going to be a pretty tough nut to break. But we'll see if Dezu has it in him this round. You can see him jumping right into that water, utilizing that hidden footstep. He's not leaving any footsteps in his wake when he's walking through the water. So that's a good start. Very, very smart way to use the game's mechanics to his advantage.
Interesting place to stand, though. I mean, this dropship's going to be coming in any second. He needs to get out of sight fast.
Yeah, we'll see how he handles that. And also, you know, it's great trying to hide your footsteps and hide where you're going, but really you're kind of at the mercy of the RNG of the birds too, because you can make that right call to run into the water, but if those birds get you, it really is just, you know, time wasted at that point. So you see a lot of players just completely ignore it and just go straight for getting as much food as possible as quick as possible.
All right, and once again, the monster player for Team Survivors of Sheer, we have Dezu covering the Hunters right now. For Team Epex Black, we have Exemplify on Assault playing Markov. We have Kildrith on Medic playing Kyra. We have Epex Nightmare on Support playing Hank. And we have Wardoom on Trapper playing Maggie.
So
it looks like we had a little poke there.
Yeah, and we saw Flame come out of Dezu, so we know he has put at least 1 point into Flame and barely dodging that dome. Barely dodging it. So he has full shields and he has the ability to evolve, and he just dodged the dome. So now he's just going to try to get as much distance as possible and get an evolve off, because he knows that Maggie is not going to be able to trap him. So even if he does take a little bit of damage after getting to stage 2, if he can get away before that dome comes up, it will all be worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, and exactly. He has the meter to evolve already. He just needs to get that distance now. And look at how far away these Hunters are.
Yeah, so he needs to start evolving sooner rather than later, because you can see that Maggie is pulling out that dome, checking out the cooldown, and it's probably going to be coming up pretty soon if he decides to go for the evolve. But it'll be interesting to see here whether he tries to juke it again or whether he tries to sneak by. But he does have a good spot to fight, as he does have this cave right here, or this building that he can go in.
They may see him climbing here. No, they're not going to. They're on the other side.
Yeah, you can see him effectively sneaking against Daisy, which is what we've seen some of the monsters previously not be able to do. You can see Daisy's a little bit confused, and these Hunters are just hanging out here, so he's going to be able to get away and get that stage 2 evolve. Really, this is the start that Dezu needed, and it's the start that he was missing in the last match.
Absolutely. This is exactly what was missing. Oh, no, but he does trigger birds, and those were birds triggered from a feed.
Oh, and you could see there that he decided to cancel his evolve, and he's going to go for the evolve in this cave. And although they did get tipped off to his position, this is still a really good spot for Dezu. He did kill those Steamodons, and he might be able to get a little bit of armor here. But now I would be surprised to see if these Hunters even go in that cave, because now you're going to have to deal with a stage 2 Goliath who potentially has 3 rock. No, so yeah, he's going 2 rock, 2 flame. So he's going to have enough DPS to take down one of these Hunters, and if they go into this cave, they're going to be in a tight spot. So even though he is domed here, this is not necessarily a bad situation for Dezu. I would say this is a favorable position.
Absolutely. We can see Exemplify the Assault coming in, trying to flush him out, but he's coming in solo. He can get sneak pounced right here, and indeed he does. The rest of the team has to go into the caves to save the Assault. Assault has not popped his shield yet, waiting until the very last second to pop the shield.
And he did pop it, so that means that he is now a viable target, as even with Hank up, and
misses the rock on Kildred.
Yeah, so this is a great spot for Dezu. He is losing his shields, but now even this Assault can go down now. We saw that he's missing that permanent shield, so now he's got his Hank. But yeah, you can see that Dezu realizes that Assault is not the right target, and he needs to start focusing either Hank or Kyra, and he's got Hank right now, so we'll see if he's able to continue to juggle him and continue pushing out damage.
Will he be able to continue? No, he is going to back off now. And look at that. Markov chasing him off with that lightning gun. The rest of the team able to get fully healed up. The dome does come down, and he's going to try to escape.
Yeah, so that was a wash. You know, he should, if he could have hit more rocks, really the ideal thing to do there, if he could have hit more rocks on multiple targets, they could have been in a really bad situation. Although Dezu did lose some permanent health here, it's still very, very even.
Yeah, I do agree. We can see the survival odds in the bottom already tipping back closer and closer to even. Right now, I think it's very, very little advantage for the Hunters. While they don't have any strikes, they really have not done enough permanent damage to a Stage 2 Goliath.
Yeah, it's very, very close. It's neck and neck at this point. But one thing that we have seen from Dezu is that he is not afraid to sneak against a Daisy squad. He was able to trick Daisy out and kind of sneak away to those caves. You really would have hoped that he could have done more in those tunnels with having 2 rock, but again, you know, he doesn't have any 3-point skills. He's got his skills spread out across every single ability. So he's not doing as much burst as he could, which will make him a very scary Stage 3 when he does get 3 points into those abilities.
Absolutely, and we have another dome coming down. The rest of the team is going to have to regroup and get there. Maggie trap locks him in place for a second. Rock onto Wardoom. Another trap holds him back, though, and may save Wardoom from going down right here if he can get away.
Yeah, you can see that was a great opener. He just needs to continue to focus the trapper or get either Hank down or someone. But oh, Kyra's
Rock onto Kildrith.
Really low. Great job. He got the shield just a little bit late on Hank. Kyra going down, and now Hank is getting ready to go down, and he's got no heals from Kyra. So it'll be interesting to see if he goes. It looks like he's trying to kill off the medic to prevent any kind of res situation.
Yeah, Daisy goes down as well. Nightmare almost dead, and Kyra is now completely down, and the dome is still up. They have not dropped the dome and started to run yet.
Yeah, you see he just finally lost all his shields, so really we would expect to see that this dome comes down right now because they've got no heals. They're going to be sitting with this health until Kyra comes back down. So one flame, as we see here, and Hank is going to go down. He has no one to protect him. He cannot shield himself. So yeah, these players are going to have to run if they want any hope.
Nice orbital right there, though. Wow, he misses that rock throw, and Exemplify still staying on him with that lightning gun, but Wardoom staying in also. The team is just fighting to the death here, and they really can't do much. Exemplify now trying to run. Oh, no.
Wow! What just happened?
No, that was an observer mode bug. That's all it was. So he was actually chasing after him, and he gets the sneak pounce. Dezu takes round number 2 off of the Hunters of Team Apex Black. Very, very well played to both teams, and we can see how quickly Dezu managed to turn that around, capitalizing on a couple of small mistakes. Look at the difference in damage done versus healing.
Yeah, and you could see really there, he was fighting where it made sense to fight there. He had an opportunity to fight in the caves. It wasn't going the way that he wanted, so he did dip out at a good time. And there, what we saw in that fight was he recognized that Maggie was a little bit too far out, and also you could see Maggie slowly jetpacking up that wall. So he realized that he could, 1, get a very easy rock and get a lot of damage out, but 2, Maggie's not going to have any jetpack to run, so he was able to continue to focus Maggie, and even though Hank was shielding, he was able to put out enough pressure to where the quick switch onto Kyra was so fast that the team was not able to react, and he was able to get Kyra down by putting out a ton of pressure on Maggie and then making that quick switch. Really a great job by Dezu in that fight.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's see how the other side is doing. I'm going to send a quick message to Apex Girthzilla and see how his games are going. Maybe we can get in on those as well.
Yeah, so yeah, the shield just a little bit late on Hank. You know, it's tough when you've got Maggie being focused so much that you do have to pay attention, because any one of these players, especially with a Goliath Rock does quite a bit of damage. So these players can get bursted down quite fast, and you know, you'll see a lot of Goliath players actually fake aim that rock and try to bait out the misdirection. So it's kind of like a pump fake in football. You know, you fake one direction, go the other, and that's what Dezu was able to do was make the team think that he was going to focus down the trapper to maybe potentially escape, and able to get a quick down on Kyra before Hank was able to react and get that shield up.
All right, well, it looks like Girthzilla actually took the time to message me back in the middle of his second game. He's currently stage 3 in his second round against Survivors of Shear's Hunter team. So we will see how that goes. No idea what the score is. I don't want to continue messaging him, but I am asking Nightmare if Nightmare knows who won the first round. Okay, so Girth did win his first round, so it's currently 2-1 Epex Black. If Girthzilla wins this game, then Epex Black will actually advance, and if he loses, we're going to have another tiebreaker, James.
Wouldn't be the first time.
No, and I don't think it's going to be the last today. I think we're going to see quite a few more.
I would agree with you on that one. But really, seeing some really great Goliath play. It's a lot of fun to watch these Goliaths with that rock and the flame, and then the importance of the power attack juggling. You could see there Dezu was able to put out a lot of pressure just by continuing to stick like glue on Maggie. And then, it's when you see a lot of these monsters not just get the tunnel vision, but recognizing when they have the opportunity to make those quick switches. They can make Hank use up a lot of shield and then switch to another player that might be unprotected.
All right. Little mistake there. Whoops, that's fixed. Hold on 1 second.
I'm going to just refresh the brackets here, see how the other teams are doing. So we've got 2 teams moving on already into the quarterfinals. Salge will be playing into the semifinals. Salge and I don't know how to pronounce that. I'll just say the Key team. Key moving on to the semis as well. And Epex Survivors, they will determine who moves on to the semis, as well as the Team Sith versus No Hope.
Yeah, that was a misclick there, guys. Whoops. That's already been fixed. All right. I'm sorry, I missed that. You said No Hope is advancing, or Team Sith?
No, we're just waiting for
waiting.
Team Sith and No Hope. That matchup will determine who goes into the semis, and then Epex Black versus Survivors of Sheer. This match has been great so far, and we'll see who moves on into the semis to fight a very strong Salge team.
All right, and looks like chat is asking for more maps during the chases. Don't worry about that. We will keep the map up more if you guys prefer to see the map. It does take away from looking at the actual distance that the hunters are from the monsters, but we can definitely pull the map up more for you.
Yeah, it's great when you see the map, because you can really see the positioning of the players, and one of the things that Salge did very well was getting an effective 3-1 split. And you can really, when you look at that map overview, you can see how the trapper can realize these are the ways that the monster wants to run, and I understand what my teammates are going to try to do in terms of where they're going to flush him. And you've got those 3 team members feeding that information to the trapper, who's going to try to make that effective cutoff. But Dezu, really, he was able to get enough distance to where the hunter team could not get a visual read on him, and he was able to actually sneak past Daisy giving some false intel to those trappers. And that was a very key part for getting a lot of distance in a pretty good stage 2 fight.
Yeah, that was a great stage 2 fight.
And you could see that it's far from over. Dezu definitely taking that one down and showing some really good play. But that cave fight was very impressive by Epex, not losing anyone in that cave fight. It can be pretty disastrous if everybody gets clumped up in those areas, because one rock can hit many people, and also you've got a lot of places where you can get pinned down. But they did a great job fighting in that cave.
All right, still no word yet. It's probably an epic stage 3 fight. Yeah, no word from Nightmare either. Let me send Nightmare a quick message. Okay.
So we will be in, will it be a game 4 that we're going into? Or are we waiting for the results of game 4?
Yeah, we are waiting for the results of Game 4. If Girthzilla can take the win for Team Epex, then there will be no Game 5. But if they cannot, then we will be in another tiebreaker.
It'll be interesting to see who they choose to fight in the tiebreaker, whether they send out the monster or the hunter squad.
Yeah, I'm really not sure what they will choose to do. It'll definitely be an interesting series of games regardless.
Yeah, we've seen a good mix of victories. It hasn't just been Monster only dominating or Hunters only dominating. We've seen a good mix of both. So it'll be interesting to see what their decision is and where they place all their faith. It's always a lot of fun to see them teams send out their Monster, because then you've got that pressure where I am the one who was selected to try to take this down, and it all is on my shoulders at this point. So yeah, you really have to have a strong mentality when you play Monster, especially in that fifth and final match.
All right, and while we're waiting for that to finish up, let me see if I can message some of the people from Team Sith. We can see what's going on over there. Let's see. I should have someone here. I should at least have War Spirit on my list. Maybe I don't. I know we've cast Team Sith before. I have to see who's here. They don't have their tags on, which makes it very, very hard to find them in Steam right now. I'm also not sure who's actually present today. They do have a pretty deep roster. Okay, so it looks like Bugsy is present playing Monster. Let me see how his games are going.
Yeah, it is quite fun watching from that Monster perspective, because you do get a lot of understanding about how the whole game is playing out. Whereas with Hunter, you kind of just only get to rely on what you see, and you don't necessarily always see the Monster. Like, as the Monster in those positions with sniffing, you can kind of see the great plays being made at the time, like when Dezu was tricking the Hunter squad. So yes, it is a lot of fun to watch from that Monster perspective, but at the same time, it's great to see what the Hunters see, so then you can really understand how the Monster is able to get away. Yeah, I've seen Avex in play. I know that he does have or a lot of skill and the ability to take down Salge potentially. So I think it'll be a great match. And we saw some really smart play by the Salge Hunters, though, especially with their 3-1 split and ability to dodge the lightning strike very effectively. So it'll be a great matchup and a lot of fun to watch.
Okay, doesn't look at them. All right, Tonic talking in chat right now, saying, don't look at the stats. Let's check them out right here. Well, they're not fully updated. We have Salge versus Averse. Epex Black isn't updated yet. Oh, I don't know. Okay, and we do have Sith Evolve versus No Hope 2-2. I see. That's what he's talking about.
2-2,
right
wow.
there. And my KPV taking a 3-0 win over Nod Web. We can see that right there. Wow.
So we've got another game 5 in Team Sith versus No Hope.
Yeah. Yeah, that's intense. I was not expecting that from a brand new team.
Yeah, very strong showing, because Team Sith is definitely an established team, and their skills have been proven over these past ESL tournaments. I'd be interested to know if the No Hope team, whether it was the Hunter or the Monster side that took those 2 wins.
All right, and then looks like chat is trolling me right now, saying that I am muted. If one of the mods wants to confirm that I am muted or not, please let me know. I can see in OBS it says that I'm not muted. So.
It says there is a delay on the stream. It sounds like it's fixed.
Okay. All right. Good. Yeah, I thought I picked up on it pretty quickly after the mute. Okay, so we should, let's see. I'm trying to get a message to Avixon now. The brackets still have not updated yet, so we do have to wait for those brackets to populate, and then the 2 teams will be able to face off against each other. We will have Team Salge versus Epex Black. All right, let me send a message to Avixon here as the hunter, or as the monster player for Apex, or for Salge, I mean, and see if we can get in on his games versus Black.
Yeah, I'm just very excited for maybe even next week when more teams come back to compete and we have a little more teams in potentially Tier 4. I think that is going to be a lot of fun to see how these monsters deal with these new hunters.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I think once the teams have a week or so to really practice and get a better grasp on using Tier 4 in competitive play, hopefully we'll have the balance patch next week as well, which should balance out the Tier 4 hunters and make them more fair in competitive play, right?
Yeah, you know, it's really that balance patch is definitely needed, and I have seen some monsters take wins off the Tier 4 teams. But you're right, it is pretty difficult. But yeah, it's still going to be exciting, especially with just the nature of the abilities of these Tier 4 hunters with the mortars from Torvald and that boost gun from Sunny. It'll be a lot of fun to watch and add a lot of new strategies for teams to execute.
Right. Yeah, and everybody loves those mortars, right?
Absolutely. I know I'm a fan. Mortars and that disc and the shotgun, that's all good stuff. And who doesn't like being a cyborg?
Yeah. All right. Billabong giving us an update in chat. Okay. Yeah, there may be a little bit of confusion as to how the tiebreaker works. All right. And yeah, we still don't have a bracket update just yet.
I'm also excited to see if there's any sweet skins that any of these monsters are going to break out. I personally really liked that voodoo skin that I saw.
I was just going to say that. Yeah, we saw Avixon pulling out the voodoo skin last night in practice. And I wonder, you know, I think that skin might actually be viable in competitive play. Sure, there's a lot of white to it, but because of the way it's mixed up with the rest of the Goliath, it might make it a lot harder to see. It might add a sort of camouflage. You know, I know some skins aren't used. Like, no one would ever use the gold skin unless they really felt confident and wanted to show off, because it just makes the monster too visible, right?
Yeah, you're a little shiny when you're all gold. Yeah, it's definitely easier to spot out. But you know, that voodoo skin just it could just bring a lot of intimidation and fear factor into play, because it's pretty cool. But we'll just have to wait and see if Vexen breaks that thing out and shows us his phenomenal magical gameplay running the voodoo skin.
All right, still no word yet from the Hunter team. And I know the tiebreaker between Sith and No Hope should be going on right about now. Oh, and you know, chat pointing out something interesting too. Girthzilla, the monster player for Apex Black, is actually the former monster player for Team Salge. So he is now going to be going up against his own team. Own former team, I should say.
So you know that they're going to know each other's tricks and playbook. So it will be really interesting to see how they accommodate that.
Yeah, and you know, we absolutely want to get in on those games. Sending a message to Girthzilla right now, trying to get his games versus Salge. Let me see if anyone from Salge. Oh yeah, Shwazy already mentioned that. Okay, we're just gonna jump right in on him right now. See if they have the lobby set up. Yeah, I'm glad that someone in chat pointed that out. That was something that really hadn't even hit me. I wasn't thinking about the fact that Girthzilla was a former Salge team member. And now moving on to Apex. So this should be exciting. This should be a little bit of a grudge match, maybe. You know, the teams have practiced against each other extensively, obviously, in scrims back when they were all together on Team Salge.
Yeah,
so they really should know the ins and outs of each other's play.
Yeah, very true. When you are on your team, that is probably who you scrimmage most of the time. So unless unless both sides have been able to pick up either tricks, this is definitely going to be a battle to see who can walk away with the pride and kind of take the you know, when you've got that playing against the old team situation, you really even play at that next level. You really, really want to take that victory to show the other side, hey, you made a mistake. So it'll be a fun match to watch. A lot of emotion involved.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I'm curious to see exactly how far they'll be able to take it.
So do we know what maps they'll be running?
We don't know what the map picks are. The way that the ESL works is that they cannot even go through the pick and ban process until the brackets physically update. Okay, the brackets have just updated, so they should be undergoing the pick bans right now.
Yep, and this is to determine who moves on into the finals, so a very important match.
Okay, yeah, it looks like from talking to the team captains, they are setting them up right now, so we'll see. Hopefully they can get through the picks and bans pretty quickly, and we can jump right into the next series of games for you.
Has Salge ever made it to the finals in any of these previous ESL Cups?
You know, that's a really good question. Let's actually pull them up. I don't think that they have. I think the farthest they've ever made it is the semis.
Well, this is a great opportunity for them to make it to the finals and potentially win it all. We've seen some really solid play. They haven't been challenged too much, really playing very effectively up to this point. So now the fact that they're playing their old teammate, I wonder how that will tip the scales. I wonder if that is more beneficial for the Monster or for the Hunters.
You know, I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. It's going to be interesting. We can see Team Salch here. The best score they've had yet has been 4th. Oh, that's actually in this cup, no less. So far, the lowest that they can get is 4th place. If they're eliminated here in the semifinals, they will play a match for 3rd place. And if they lose that, they will then get 4th place. So the worst they can do right now is 4th, which is better than they've ever done before.
Yeah, they're playing really well. So this is a great opportunity for them to really make their mark this week and maybe even take down a victory and win it all. So you've got My KPV or No Hope that they'll have to go up against next, and you know No Hope definitely taking out Team Sith. You know that they're no joke. They're here and they're ready to play. So it's going to be a great semifinal and finals that we're going to get to see.
All right, Girthzilla sending me a message. They are doing the picks and bans right now. We'll see how much longer the players take to get things going. And just going to send a quick message to Nightmare also. Give me 1 minute here.
Also curious if they will be running that God comp essentially with Kyra, Hank, and Maggie and Markov. We did see some Hyde comps take down a victory as well, so I would not be surprised to see Hyde come out either.
Yeah, you know, we definitely could see some Hyde, especially against Girthzilla. I think he usually picks Goliath, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and with Goliath, you know, Hyde is very effective because with Kraken, Hyde not so much because the Kraken can do a lot of DPS from far away. But as a Goliath, a lot of your damage you're going to want to be getting up in the opponent's face and using your power attacks. And so when you've got Hyde throwing down that toxic grenade, you can really mitigate a lot of that focus or punish him very heavily if he does decide to focus and sit in that toxic grenade.
Yes, exactly. I mean, that's one of the biggest advantages to Hyde right now. And, you know, coming up in the balance patch, I saw it in the patch notes that were posted on the forums and on Reddit. The toxic grenades will no longer slow hunters. That's amazing for Hyde. That's going to be so good.
Yeah, I think one big reason why they were doing that is because, you know, you can really, not only use it for a negative experience for your teammates, but really it's if you can kind of beat yourself up. If you are in a critical spot and you need to chase that monster and you throw a bad toxic grenade and you slow down your trapper, it can open up an opportunity for you to get flamed pretty hard. So I am I'm really happy that that's going to be a change, because I have done that quite a bit where I just try to throw a Hail Mary and I just completely fail and slow down my entire team. So I'm sure all my friends will be happy that now that I'm playing Hyde, that this change is going to come into effect.
I just want to highlight this upset right here. Advancing over Team Sith in the quarterfinals, we have Team No Hope, a brand new team, their first time ever competing in an ESL. Brand new. Looks like they're all from the UK. And no names that... Well, Detox, okay, I've seen his name around before. Wow.
Yeah,
very impressive from Team No Hope.
Team Sith, yeah, is a very skilled team. We've seen them make it very far multiple times. So No Hope, even though they haven't been around on the block for very long, they're coming out swinging.
And once again, folks, thank you all so much for tuning in. If this is your first time here watching this broadcast, you like what you see, want to get notified in the future, you can help support the channel for free by just hitting that follow button down below. It's completely free, and you'll get notified anytime we go live, whether it's on Sundays for one of these broadcasts, and EHL, that's the Evolve Hype League broadcast, our bi-weekly podcast, or anything else that we're doing in the future. So go ahead and hit that follow button if you do want to support the channel. Coming up in the future, we are going to be doing regular broadcasts in the evenings, basically playing with ourselves, pros, and then keeping a few slots open to bring in all of you from the community. All you have to do is be watching the channel and following the Steam group down below, and you'll be able to join in on us through the Steam group into any games that we play. And we'll be looking to rotate people in and out. It'll give you a chance to play with pros from the community, maybe get some advice, and potentially even get scouted into a pro team. So definitely looking forward to that. That's going to be starting this week. Make sure you follow the channel and join the Steam group if you do want to take part in that. We'll probably be doing that weekday afternoons and evenings. So stay tuned for more information on that, and hopefully that'll work out real well. I'm really looking forward to seeing how that goes.
Yeah, we've seen it before, where just with streams from Guidance and Sane, many of these players that members of the community will have an opportunity to come in, and whether it's as a hunter or as a monster, come in and really show their skills. It makes me think of Diablo Ryan, the first time that all the players got introduced to the Up Vortex, and what we found is a lot of these pro players and players in the community at these higher levels, they're really welcoming to many of the community members. So I am also looking forward to seeing people from the community come out, support the game, and also participate in these matches, and like you were saying, maybe potentially be discovered and finding out new ways to play the monsters, or even just have fun with these pros.
All right, and for those players who are interested in possibly playing for a competitive team, we did mention the events that we'll be doing throughout the week, this week, and going forward. But right now, more immediately, Eyes on You is actually looking for a medic. That's one of the reasons why they're not playing today. They don't currently have a medic. So if you are interested in playing with Eyes on You, one of the top teams in the scene right now, if you think you can play medic well enough to hang with them, make sure to let us know. Give them a shout out. They are in chat right now, so they'll definitely see if you post up a message, or let me know as well. And hopefully we can find a great medic for them so that they can continue playing.
And not only that, but these tournaments are open to anyone. If you like competing, you can get your friends together and you can practice, and then you'll have the opportunity to potentially get your game casted on the stream, but also the opportunity to play against some of the higher level opponents that have been on the scene a little bit longer. So if you're interested, there's no reason why you can't just get some friends together, sign up for the tournament, and compete yourself. If you're interested in getting into the competitive Evolve scene, you can just sign up and play. It's really that easy.
All right, just talking to the teams here real quick. Give me just one more moment. All right. Still no word yet on what the picks and bans are. Let me see. Yeah, Nightmare messaging me, but not telling me the picks and bans. Although, oh, okay, nope. We do have from Practical One. Great, awesome. Distillery will be the first map. Wow. Then we have the Dam, and then finally MedLab.
Interesting picks. We'll see how it goes. I'm really excited to see this potential new rivalry kicking off between Epex and Salge, especially when you've got a former teammate now playing against you. Those always, like we were alluding to, you know, there's always a little bit of emotion involved. You know, even if you leave on good terms, there's, you know, players who play at this level have that competitive nature just ingrained into them, and they're going to want to beat their old team. You know, you can still be friendly and, you know, smile, shake their hand, but still at the end of the day want to kick their butt and show them who's boss.
Yeah, exactly. They do want to beat their old team. They can't lose. It's a bit of pride on the line, right? Right.
Oh, yeah.
If they lose to their old team, or if the old team loses to the former monster. So they're definitely both going to be coming out strong, and they're going to come out swinging.
Yeah, bragging rights is almost as important as a trophy.
Yeah, for sure. And we do just about have a game underway right now. Once again, that first game will be on Distillery. What did we say was after that? I need to pull that up again just so I remember.
I think you said the Dam.
The Dam, that's right. Yeah, we have not seen the Dam yet today. A lot of players choosing to ban the Dam because just because of how hunter favored many monsters think it is, because of that visibility straight down the river.
Yeah, it's hard to, you know, you do see a lot of times monsters getting trapped on one half of the map just because they know if they try to make it to the other half, there's a very good chance that they're going to get spotted out. And there's a lot of ways for the trapper to just hang back and wait for a monster to commit in one direction. So it's understandable, but, you know, sometimes you just have to get a little bit aggressive as the monster. But, you know, if the hunters are really on their game, it does make it difficult because anybody who you focus in that Kyra, Hank, Maggie, Markov, anybody you focus, it's going to be difficult to take them down because, you know, Markov has his personal shield. Maggie can just switch to her harpoon guns and just keep punishing you for chasing her. Hank will be able to get healed by Kyra if you focus Hank, and then if you focus Kyra, Hank will be busting out his shield. So it is a tough situation to be in as a monster for sure.
Yeah. And we are getting into the first game right now. This is Salge versus Epex Black, the monster player, Girthzilla, the former monster player for Team Salge, now facing off against his former teammates in the semifinals of the Go4Evolve Europe Cup #8 here today.
Awesome. I can't wait to see it. Girthzilla is going to take out a lot of potentially hard feelings against his old buddies.
Yeah.
So we'll see if these hunters make a mistake. We've seen that these monsters at this level of play are very, very quick to recognize mistakes made by these hunters and punishing them for it. What we saw with the last match with Epex and Survivors of Sheer was that Maggie was using up all of her jetpack, and he was able to get a lot of damage out and then do a quick switch on Kyra. So these hunters are going to have to make sure that they manage their jetpacks and manage their position quite well. And you can see already that they're going hide. So we've seen Salge do this before, and we've seen their Assault Toe do a great job at keeping those toxic grenades down and preventing the monster from sticking too long in one spot. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out, and especially if Girthzilla has some experience playing against his old team when they do run hide. Because depending on how much practice he got in, if it was before the hide patch, he might not have gotten used to the style of play that they are going to be doing now that they have a hide.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Hide being picked is a relatively new thing that we've seen. We saw a couple hide games last week, and I believe hide was also enabled the week before that as well, due to some changes. But nobody really picked him the week before that.
Yeah, and we can see that the hide pick did pay off, especially against the Wraith. That when they had played against Survivors of Sheer, so we know that Toe knows how to play hide and really punish the monster. But I don't think that we have seen hide and Epex or Salge play with hide against a Goliath. So that'll be the first time that we see today Salge playing with hide against a Goliath, and we're going to see how effective it is.
Oh, what do we have here? Black screen? Okay, we are good. We are good. Just quickly changing perspectives to negate that right there. And we have game number 1 of the ESL Sunday Cup Go4Evolve semifinals underway right now. Playing for Team Epex, we have the former Salge monster, Girthzilla, playing that Goliath. And so, going to Team Salge, on Assault, we have Jawsto playing Markov. We have Akath on Medic playing Kyra. We have Practical One on Support playing Hank. And we have Shwazy on Trapper playing Maggie.
Yeah, this is going to be a great matchup. I'm really looking forward to Girth and Girth Hype, you know, taking over and seeing if he can punish these players. We saw that he did roll Flame and Leap Smash, so I wonder if we can see what points that he got at stage 1, and also let's bring up the minimap and see where these players are heading. You can see that Maggie is getting into position. He is in a great spot here to go either direction to cut off Girth, so we'll see how this next few moments plays out. You can see he is making the commitment to one direction. He's got his Leap Smash, and it looks like he is getting quite a bit of food here.
Yeah,
so that is
Shwazy, Shwazy doing a great job laying those traps in that other direction and ducking back at the last minute. Really doing a good job staying far away.
Yep, we'll see if he's able to outrun Maggie. But they're running side by side here. Maggie using up her jetpack. It looks like she is just out of range and not going to be able to catch up to Girth. So Girth is going to be able to get away. And now it's just going to see if he is able to get the Evolve off or whether he wants to bait the Dome before the Evolve.
Yeah, we can see him using that Leap Pounce to cover, Leap Smash to cover a little bit of additional distance there after those traversals are out. And we can see the pings coming out. They definitely have sight of him. He goes for the Evolve, cancels it, nope, and he does pull off the Evolve. Interesting choice. 60 meters away, I think they're going to get a Dome here. But this is a decent spot to fight for a Goliath.
Yeah, you can see he's really hugging that wall. If he can get a ring to work with, that would be great, but it looks like this could be a not-so-great spot to fight as a Goliath, especially when you've got no shield. But you see he goes 3 leap, 3 fire, so choosing not to go rock, but he's doing a ton of damage on Hank.
That orbital, though.
Yes, he's trying to call in the orbital to relieve some of that pressure, but it looks like Hank is going to go down here, and also Kyra's stacking. This could be a quick match with Kyra and Hank both going down, and now only Maggie and Hyde are left. So they need to hope Daisy can get one of them up, but no, Girthzilla is not going to let that happen. He kills both Hank and Kyra. They are not getting back up, and it is going to be tough for Salge to recover from this one. We might see under a 5-minute game here.
Yeah, this could be a very, very quick minute game. Only 3 minutes in. And Shwazy the Trapper, the only one left alive, 150 meters out, though. So well outside of smell range. We can see on the map, yeah, Maggie is covering good distance now. Which way is she going to cut on the river, though? That's the real question.
Yeah, so, you know, if they can recover from this, it's still not over. We've got 3 players that have marks. Definitely Kyra and Hank, you don't want them to have marks. Hyde is not as important that he has a mark, but they did kill about 50% of the health of Girthzilla at stage 2. So it's not the end of the world. It's still salvageable. And it looks like Girth is not going to be chasing. He's going to go for straight to stage 3 and try to probably take these hunters out on the dropship.
It's a smart play on his part. They did manage to do some significant damage to him there. They took off all the additional health that he gained during stage 2, but at a pretty heavy cost to them.
Yeah, so they are all operating on one strike. One strike it's doable, but it's going to be very tough. And now you see him putting 3 into Rock. And Rock, I mean, he was able to get all those marks without having Rock, and now having 3 Rock is going to be pretty scary. So it looks like he is going to try to hunt down this final Maggie player, but he may not be able to find Maggie until the dropship comes. But it'll be interesting to see whether he tries to throw that rock on the players when they jump down out of that dropship, because he does have full shields here. So now he will be able to take a fight, and now we'll just have to see whether he wants to fight or if he's going to go for the relay.
I think he's going to go straight for the relay. He doesn't see Shwazy anywhere around. All right, you know, no, okay. He's actually going to hunt them down. Wow. And look to take them in to take them out from the dropship.
He might have seen Maggie jump across there. Maggie was visible for just a second, so it looks like he did see her, and it looks like Maggie might be able to get caught here before the players get out of the dropship, which would be disastrous. And yes, indeed, he does. Girth does hunt out Maggie, so Maggie's probably going to go down before anybody can help.
Yeah, Leap Smash onto Maggie, though, barely did any damage at all, and Shwayze doing a great job avoiding damage. Hank comes in with those shields, and the rest of the Hunter team drops in Jaws Toe with that flamethrower from Hyde. But Practical One about to go down. No, he whiffs that rock throw, throws it at thin air.
Yeah, Hank pulled off that clutch invis. Now it looked like Girth thought that he went the opposite direction, but that invis was critical, and now Maggie's about to go down, and yes, Maggie goes down, so everybody has a mark now. Daisy down, Hyde almost down.
And Jaws Toe goes down, the assault as well. Shwayze disconnected after getting killed there. Maybe he knew it was over, or maybe that was just accidental. I don't know. Leap Smash misses Practical One, though. Hank doing a good job staying alive here, but for how much longer? He can take maybe one more rock.
All the players are up right now, so it is still doable. It looks
barely saves Jaws Toe, and the AI Trapper actually drops that dome there. Everyone dodges that rock throw. Amazing play there.
Yeah, this is still not over just yet. You really hope that Shwayze can connect back, but all 4 players are up right now.
Wow.
And Girth has no shields, so this is still not over yet. And it looks like Hank is shielding Hyde, and so if Hyde gets taken out right here, nope. He does dodge the rock, so this is still doable.
They're all so low right now. Advancing with the Flame Breath onto ACAT. Once again, ACAT dropped down from the Flame Breath right there. Rock throw onto Jaws Toe. Takes Jaws Toe the assault out with a Stage 3 Goliath at half health. This is about the worst possible position they could be in right now.
But orbital! That orbital did so much damage, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough, but it was a great orbital. It looks like Girth is going to be able to hunt down Hank, Practical One, and take him out, and take that victory.
Practical One, the last one left alive here. One more hit will take him out. The Leap Smash finishes off Salge's Hunter team. Just barely, though. That was a lot closer than it seemed like it was going to be.
Yeah, I mean, Girth really, even though at the end there he did lose quite a bit of health, it seemed like he still kept a commanding control over the pace of that game. You know, going that 3 leap and 3 fire, he was able to punish the Hunters for grouping up and able to get all those marks right at the start. So really, you know, that mistake of stacking up a little bit too much and then getting leapt on and everybody getting started on fire, that was the turning point in the game, and they were just trying to kind of get the pieces back together after that first engagement. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see if that start is as rough as this game and the next game. But if Salge can get a little bit better of a start, you know, they still have a shot at taking the game.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, we missed it. We didn't have the screen up long enough, but the healing from the medic ACAT, I think, was only around 10k, and the damage from the monster was around 30k. So a huge difference right there, but it was still pretty close. They had the monster at stage 3 down to 1/3 of his life.
They you know, and it could have just been a situation of Girth really knowing that he could throw away a little bit of his health, you know, at the expense of winning. You know, it would have been really, really tough for them. That orbital definitely did a ton of damage, but Girth really just had complete control over that game and really setting the pace, and all the engagement seemed to be on his terms. So Salge is just going to have to do a good job of making sure that they're not stacking up too much and then getting punished for it with this leap smash flame combos, because you know they might not have expected him to put 3 points into leap and flame. They might have been expecting a rock.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They probably were expecting a full rock.
Yeah, but the leap smash and the flame and 3 points into both, it really made quick work of them in that stage 2 fight. Like, it was in the blink of an eye. They got down so quickly. And that made it for a very easy stage 3 after that. You know, he didn't even have to bother to chase Maggie, even though he did find Maggie out and do a lot of damage right at the beginning of that engagement before the teammates came down out of the dropship. He was able to very easily just get to stage 3 and then work with all those marks that he had. So it was very, very commanding display by Girthzilla. And we'll have to wait and see if he is able to do that again, or if Salge is able to get a little bit more distance and play a little bit more conservatively in that first stage to evolve. And we'll also have to see whether Salch can fight him stage 1, because really he was able to get so much distance and fight stage 2 and not have to fight stage 1. And stage 1 fights are almost always in favor of the hunters.
Yeah, they nearly always are, and once masteries are enabled, it will, I think, really give a strong advantage to hunters in those crucial stages 1 and 2. You know, and the game really was designed for masteries, you know, in keeping masteries in mind, so it'll be nice to actually see them brought back into the game at last.
Yeah, it'll add a little bit more flavor, and for sure, I'm also excited to see it and how it plays in and how it changes the meta in the games, the compositions that people run, and how the monsters react.
All right, so it looks like what we're going to do is we're going to jump back and forth between each side, so that way you'll get to see each game in the first round, each game in the second round, and then if it goes to a tiebreaker, we'll cover that also. So next up, it will be Avixon for Team Salge playing against Apex Black's Hunters. And they should be just about ready now. I think they're waiting on the final hunter. No, he is in-game right now. Okay, so Exemplify did finally join, so we should be ready in just a moment. Let me make sure everyone is muted here. There we go.
Yeah, and I'm also excited to see how players utilize Behemoth. I love watching a Behemoth play. You know, I've been roll-clapped quite a bit by a Behemoth. It is pretty infuriating, but, you know, when you've got an ability like bringing up a wall and completely blocking off a location, it is very interesting to see how monster players utilize that. I mean, I've seen it on MedLab when you're playing over in the northeast corner where there's a bunch of just caves underneath a platform. You can just essentially make your own blocked off area and really punish people for overextending and making it almost impossible for them to get any help at all.
All right, and we have the next game underway right now. Just hitting up that load screen. Keep in mind, they have picked their monsters and their hunters already behind the scenes. The way it works in the ESL Cups, the Sunday Cups, is that the medic and the trapper are picked first, and then the monster announces his pick, followed by the assault and the support player as counter picks.
So we'll be running Distillery. It'll be awesome to see if Girthzilla's performance can be matched by the opposing monster.
Yeah, I'm looking to see what they can pull off here today.
You could see it. You know, we saw in the first matches with Schwazy, he really did a good job of making sure that if the monster committed to one direction, that he would be able to cut him off and dome him. And that was one part that he was not able to execute in that last match. He was able to get a stage 2 dome, but we had seen in the prior matches he was able to get a couple stage 1 domes. And it's no fault of his own, you know, it's just, it can be very difficult, especially when you've got a Goliath who knows where to jump and at which elevations and which directions. And you saw that Girthzilla knew exactly what he had to do to get that distance and force a fight where he wanted to fight. And you see, that's where monsters really succeed, is when they fight in the areas that they're comfortable with, and they have a plan of attack going into the dome.
And look at this right here. We don't just have any Goliath coming out of Avixon. We have a Cosmic Goliath. That was a skin I wasn't expecting to be picked. I've heard a lot of debate from a lot of the competitive players as to whether or not the Cosmic skin, that purple skin, makes you a little bit too visible.
Well, I know I've seen Avexon whip out quite a few skins, and I just think he's a glamorous dude. I mean, look at that paint job. It's just, it's really awesome. You know, he doesn't care if somebody sees him because of this skin, because he understands that looking good is half the battle.
That's right. For Avixon, it is all about style over substance.
So really fortunate finding 2 mammoth birds there, as that is 3 shields apiece and a lot of eat. It's always great seeing those mammoth birds stacked up, and you can take them down really easily, and you can see him just ignoring that Reaver. And you'll see some monsters just do that and ignore those Reavers because it takes time to eat and you're only getting 1 shield. And
all right, let's cover this team real quick before we have some action, which may happen very, very soon. As the Goliath player for Team Salge, we have Avixon, formerly of Team Elevate Esports. And for Apex Black on Assault, we have Exemplify playing Markov. On Medic, we have Kildrith playing Kyra. On Support, we have Nightmare playing Hank. And on Trapper, we have Wardoom playing Maggie.
So you can see Wardoom hanging out in the back here, doing a good job, waiting for the monster to come in. You can see that Avexen is trying to duck as best he can and really now committing, heading out, or maybe he's faking it. It looks like Wardoom, can we bring up the minimap and see? Yeah. So we see the position of the monster, and wow, Maggie is so far out.
How far away he is.
Yeah, if Avexen can just hightail it up to the top of the map, I think he'll get away.
Yeah, Wardoom was very, very far off there.
Yeah, he might have been relying on his teammate to get quicker information on whether Avexen was going to commit to one direction. And you could see that Avexen did head towards that direction and pretend like he was going to duck back before fully committing to heading north. And he's getting a lot of distance. Now he's got full shields and he's ready to evolve. So we'll just have to wait and see where he decides to take this stage 2 fight.
Oh, and looks like some wildlife right here. Blitz Leopard holding up the assault right there. And quickly back to the mini-map. We can see Wardoom closing in on the other side.
And you can see him getting in a good spot. You see that he knows that he wants to jump back down and use all his traversals to get in the corner where we saw Girth fight last time. So it looks like he's using the same plan of attack where he's trying to use all his traversals and leap smash, and charge and come back into that corner and evolve probably very close to where Girthzilla evolved.
Yeah, and look at how much distance. Oh, he stops for a minute. Interesting. Okay, maybe testing the evolve right there. No, wisely, he does cancel that. That would have been a terrible spot to evolve.
Yeah, it was questionable. You know, we thought he was continuing to run, so now he does continue to run back into this corner, but he wasted some precious time there. You know, every second counts, especially when you're trying to get to that stage 2. So you can see that Doom is just kind of chilling, waiting to see if he does indeed try to run so he can cut him off and get down that dome. So yeah, you see he did not evolve. If he would have not wasted that time with that potential evolve or that fake evolve, he might have been able to get stage 2. But now he's going to try to create more distance and dodge that dome and get out of it, or even at least evolve in a stage 2 area, or that will be beneficial for him to fight at.
Yeah, and look at that. Look at how far away he is. We see a nice split from the Hunters right here, though. We have Kyra and the Trapper, Maggie, splitting off a little bit above the monster right here. Nice to get that speed boost and close in quickly on the monster. 50 meters out. They may actually get the dome here. Yeah, they are. They are, and this was almost immediately as he evolved, too.
So can we see what points that he is going now? We know that he had Charge and Flame and Leap Smash. So
yeah, we will see in a second. In that orbital, utterly destroying all the bonus health that he gained from that stage 2 evolve. This is a terrible situation for Avexen to be in.
He's already at half health. He's got no shields and really nowhere to fight, so it's going to be really difficult for him to do much. He's going to have to make quick work of someone. Ideally, he would focus down the Trapper so he can get out, but at this point, you know, he's probably just hitting whoever is in front of him and just going to try to relieve pressure by doing damage to whoever comes up in front of him.
They may actually take him out right here if he's not careful. We've got some Markov mines on the ground right there, and they are preventing him from eating and getting that crucial armor that he needs.
Oh, he
steps on a mine. Wow, Markov comes in with that lightning gun. He doesn't have much health left, and there's still a lot of time left on this dome. Hank firing away with that laser cutter, and Avexen trying to duck out of sight of these Hunters, but just not enough. Maggie Trap locking him in place, and that's going to finish him right there, ending game number 2 as another win for Epex Black. Epex Black now up 2-2. I'm sorry, 2-0.
Yeah, so you could see there really the turning point in that match was him starting that evolve out in the open and kind of using up some precious time when he might have been able to get down in that corner and evolve, really losing so much health by getting caught with that evolve and getting an orbital dropped right on him. So, you know, it's a very, very devastating second stage 2 evolve for him.
Yeah, Team Epex Black really showing their practice and their experience here today.
Yep, you know, it's so true. If you can't get that distance, you can get punished so hard. You see it with teams like Parnell. Parnell can get right up in your face and do so much Super Soldier headshot damage And with Hank being able to drop that orbital in one spot, you just need to get a lot of distance and understand where those hunters are on the map and when you can evolve and when you can't. So Avexen probably just getting a little bit shook up and from that fake evolve and not being able to get a lot of distance, but it's not over yet. So he did do a good job at creating that space initially in the map, and it just looked like he got a little bit impatient with that evolve right there.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's a great point. It definitely seemed like it may have been a little bit too impatient of an evolve, and I mean that basically cost him the game. We can see the problem of evolving too close to a group of hunters, especially when they have a Hank on the team. You know, if they didn't have a Hank, sure, they may have gotten a stage 2 dome with no armor off, but they wouldn't have had an orbital that took off literally half of his health.
Yeah, it was devastating. That orbital was just critical and just doing so much damage that Avexen was on his heels right away and really didn't get a chance to set up a fight from his end. You know, he was just in run mode because, you know, when you lose that much health, there's really nothing you can do. If you stick around and fight, you're going to die anyway. So he did everything he could, and I think he'll be wiser in this next match with trying to get a little bit more distance on the stage 2 evolve.
Yeah, that was what I like to call a Kriegasm orbital right there. That's what it was. That, when you see an orbital like that, that is when chat is supposed to do nothing but spam Kriegasms in honor of such an amazing play.
Yeah, those orbitals, that's every Hank player's dream, is walking
exactly.
up. You know, walking up on a monster who's still got like 5 seconds left on his evolve and just dropping an orbital right on him.
All right, and we are jumping into round number 2 right now. This will be the other side, the beginning of the second round. This will be Team Salge's Hunters versus Epex Girthzilla. formerly Salge Girthzilla. Although I may have actually gotten people to start calling him Girthzilla now. We'll have to wait and see.
It's a great name. It's a great nickname. So it looks like they're running hide yet again. So, you know, we'll see if they have a more successful first engagement, because we saw that Girthzilla rolled 3 leap, 3 fire, and really kind of, it seemed like he surprised them with that, because he did so much damage so quickly. It seemed like the Hunter team was just not ready for it. So now that they've seen what he did last time, it'll be interesting to see if Girthzilla changes up his build or if he continues to go that 3 leap, 3 fire, and also how Salge responds to that in that first engagement.
Absolutely. And you know, this could be the final game of this side of the semifinals here today. This is Epex Girthzilla versus Team Salge's Hunters. Let's get some hype up here in chat, and let's take a live vote right now. If you guys want to see Epex Black win here today and advance onto the finals, let's get some Dan's games in chat. And if you guys want to see Team Salge take a win and maybe bring it into a final series of tiebreakers in this best of 5 and maybe advance to the finals, then let's see some what face in chat.
Yeah, so you can see him taking on the Dune Beetle right away. Those Dune Beetles, really a nuisance. You see how quickly it just scurries around. It makes you think of Starship Troopers, and that movie scared me. But
absolutely, I saw that when I was a young kid, and yeah, that, I don't know about scares me. I think it grossed me out a little bit. It was a pretty gory movie for a young kid to see.
Yeah, the brain bug. It looks like Girthzilla was the brain bug, and he just went into his opponent's head and knew exactly what they were going to do, judging by how he played last round and just punishing them so badly on that first stage 2 fight.
We can see the Hunters right here zeroing in on his location very, very well. We can see the Assault circling around, about to gain sight of him in just a moment.
Yeah, and really the dot that you really want to watch when you're looking at the minimap in these situations is that green dot. That green dot is the Hunter, and that's what you're going to see try to cut off that big orange blob that you see. So the green dot is the position of the Hunter, or of the Trapper, and they need to get in a cut-off position. You see that Maggie is indeed in a great spot to cut off the monster in whatever direction he goes, but the Dune Beetle coming in and ruining that plan.
He's going right for Shwazy right now. He's going to be right in front of Shwazy. Shwazy actually can't drop the dome just yet. He's got the Dune Beetle and a stage 1 Goliath to contend with, and the rest of the team is only just showing up.
So what happened there was Girthzilla recognized an opportunity. He realized that Maggie was taking damage from the wildlife, from that Dune Beetle, and he was hanging around for a bit to see if he could punish Shwazy for that. So in the end, he was still able to just get away and buy a little bit of time, because that Dune Beetle punishing that Hunter squad.
All right, and he's going to create some really, really good distance here. I think he'll actually get away and pull off an evolve. Yeah, oh, he's going to pull off an evolve in an interesting spot. I wasn't expecting that. I thought he might take it a little bit further out, right?
Yeah, so it looks like there will be a stage 2 dome, but he's not going to be in danger of getting orbital on his head, but he is sitting in that toxic grenade, getting a lot of damage right here.
Great damage right there coming out of the Hunters from Team Salj.
And you see the 3 leap, 3 fire, which is great, but look at that damage. He is able to just pump out so much damage, but Kyra is trying as best she can to keep Hank up, but Hank cannot shield himself, and he is still very, very low. And you can see that that toxic grenade is doing a ton of damage, though, and punishing Girth for sticking around, trying to get that focus. So lots of players really low. If you're Kyra, you know, it's tough to keep everybody topped off, but they're doing a good job so far, but it's just so close. So close to death as Practical One is still very low. And oh my gosh, it looks like he has almost no health at all. It is so close right now, and he does end up going down, but Girth is losing a lot of health, and Hank might be getting right back up. So Kyra's still low, but Girth is panicking a little bit, trying to get some shields because he just lost so much health there for just a mark on Hank.
Yeah,
so even though he did get 1 mark on Hank, he lost almost 2. It is too much health. He lost a ton. The Hunter squad has to be happy with that engagement.
Absolutely, he lost too much health there. I think Girthzilla was expecting an easier game like the first game, but Salj's Hunter team really pulling it together and saying, no, we're not going to go down without a fight. We're going to take it to the monster. We're going to take it to our former teammate and give him a good showing.
Yeah, and big props to Kyra right there for keeping those players up, because, you know, you saw Maggie low and you saw Hank low. And Kyra was able to keep both of them up for quite some time, and even Hank, utilizing that cloak effectively, able to buy time for his team, and as well as Toe punishing that focus by getting down those toxic grenades. So really a lot better play by Salj this time, as they know the tricks that Girthzilla is going to break out. They know that he likes to run that leap smash fire.
Yeah, and you know, even if he manages to get a stage 3 evolve here, he's going to have his work cut out for him, taking a win off of Salj's Hunters as long as they play all their cards right. All right, yes, and he's going to duck right past Jaws Toe there. He's going to dodge that dome. That was what he was waiting for. He was waiting for Shwazy to commit just a little bit too strong. But we can see Shwazy actually taking the long way, looking to possibly cut him off again. They're going to go downriver and try and head him off.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Girthzilla does in this fight, because he does have that mark on Hank, and Hank is a great target to focus because Hank does mitigate a ton of damage. So I wonder if Girth is going to try to get his shields up, potentially get stage 3, and just focus Hank right away.
And so we have another dome.
And I wonder if he's got a loop here. It looks like he might have a good loop in the back to deal with. But yeah, it is quite a big loop, though.
Yeah, this is a really big loop, and you know, that's, I think, possibly one of the worst positions for a Hunter to be in. Wow, Leap Smash onto Practical One almost takes out Hank in a single shot, and he's going to back up and run the other way, but the Maggie Harpoon locks him in place as Jaws Toe, the assault called Hide, comes in strong on him.
Yeah, so you see that he gave up right there, because even though he did get a good opening on Hank, Hank was able to pop a cloak at that point and almost, you know, just be unfindable if you're the monster. So a smart play from Girth, and we'll just probably wait and see how well he mitigates this damage, because that's what he's going to probably want to do, is he's going to want to just survive as long as he can, not lose any permanent health, get stage 3, and then be able to take out Hank maybe with 3 rock, 3 leap, 3 fire. So he is able to do a lot of damage on Hank here. So, and it looks like he is... Oh, look, yeah, he's focusing him.
Wow,
so
Orbital coming down, though.
Yeah, he's probably going to run at this point. So he hasn't lost any permanent health yet. Now finally losing permanent health just a little bit. But if he can get stage 3, it's still not over.
Wow, this is a rough spot to be in as the monster right here. He still couldn't dish out any permanent damage. And the Hunters managed to get a little bit more on him.
Yeah, I'm very eager to see this stage 3 fight. If he can get a clean stage 3, if he's able to get stage 3 and not get caught in the dome and get his shields up, he's still in a very, very good spot, because Hank does have that mark, and if he can tank Hank out, he's negating that cloak and he's negating that damage. So if he's able to take out Hank quickly, he can then back out and then go get shields again, and then he's dealing with a 2-strike Hank that he can just kill and take out of the fight right away. So it'll be interesting to see how Goatzilla plays this moving forward.
All right, and he is going to armor up, almost ready to hit stage 3 here. And if we check the map, we can see the Hunter splitting. Look at that. Maggie's so close, but not wanting to commit either way at this point. You can see Orbital and almost a pounce on Practical 1. And now Goatzilla kind of flailing around looking for a target. We have everybody but Shwazy here. And if they can keep him distracted for long enough, they may actually get a dome off. Oh no, Leap Smash on a Practical 1.
On Hank, and he gets out. He is doing that as a great strategy because now he knows he got a quick mark. And if he can go get stage 3, he knows he can do whatever he wants with Hank. Basically one rock and then followed up with a Flame Breath, and you're going to take Hank out of the fight completely. He won't be able to get res. Once you get 2 marks on you, if you lose all of your health, you are out of the fight on the dropship, and you're out for just quite some time. So it's very, very key that he got that 2nd strike.
Yeah, and look at how much distance he's created here. Yeah, he's going to take that Evolve. They will probably get a dome. Yeah, only 80 meters out. They will definitely get a dome here, but I don't know how much damage they're going to be able to pull off. By the time the dome comes down and the Hunters are in place, he will be just almost fully out of the cocoon.
Yeah, so Salge does not want to deal with a full shield Goliath at stage 3, so they decided that they are going to track him down and take this fight right here. So this is Salge's opportunity to take the game, because if Goatzilla is able to get away and get full shields, it's going to be pretty tough for them to live, especially with their
Practical 1 down already. Leap Smash onto ACAT the Medic. Medic down below half health and pinned in a corner. Fire Breath is going to keep him lit up, and the Medic goes down as well. This is it right here. Both teams are committed to this fight. Leap Smash trying to take out the Medic. Jaws Toe Assault down to half, and Shwazy the Trapper with only a little bit of damage dealt, and he's focusing Daisy of all things.
Toxic Grenade could finish him if he's not careful. He
has
no health at
Jaws
all.
Toe! Jaws Toe goes down to a stray rock with no shield, and Trapper gonna go down at the last second with almost no health left on the monster.
What a match. What a
an
match
insane turnaround.
Wow. Yeah, so that was a great play by Salge, forcing that stage 3 fight before he could get those shields. And really, it was just a one clip of anybody's weapon there that was the difference in that game.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. And, you know, I didn't see if Jaws Toe had popped his shield earlier. But from what I saw, at least, he had never popped his shield. He may have popped it sooner and it was on cooldown, but it looked like that may have been an accidental misjudge on the part of Jaws Toe as to how much damage the monster could dish out with a full rock.
Yeah, he may have calculated that if he shielded, it could have bought him more time to do DPS, but yes, it did look like he blew that shield a little bit early and ended up going down to the monster, but really just down to the wire. You know, just a few crits could have been the difference in that matchup.
Wow, what an insane finish, though. Okay, so Apex Black will now advance to the finals versus, let's see if that other side has been resolved yet.
Wow, that was truly just so even, so neck and neck. And really great decisions by both teams. It's just the execution coming up a little bit short from Salge, but I really liked their decision to go there and fight that stage 3 right away, and it almost paid off. It was so close, and really good job by Goatzilla keeping his calm and finishing off that fight, because it is, you know, you see a lot of monsters that will try to dip out and get shields and have nothing, and then at that time the game is already lost because the players can finish DPSing, but Girth stuck in there and was able to finish off those players with almost no health left. So awesome match. That was great to watch.
And look at this right here. We have KPV already finishing up their matches 3-0 as well. So it will be Apex Black versus KPV advancing to the finals in this Go4Evolve Europe Cup number 8. Thank you all so much, folks, for tuning in so far today. If you haven't done so already and you want to support the channel, please remember to hit that follow button down below. It takes only a moment and it's completely free. It doesn't cost you anything, unlike a sub button or some of the other things that other channels have. But it is completely free, and you will be notified anytime we go live in the future for an ESL broadcast, an EHL, that's the Evolve Hype League broadcast, the Stage 3 podcast that we do, as well as some other games throughout the week as well. One of the things we're going to be doing going forward is allowing you guys a chance to play with pros from the competitive scene. It will be myself and JamesBot, and/or JamesBot, plus one pro, or if we have two pros, maybe we'll sit back and cast you guys playing with two pros and swap out people from the community as we get more and more people filling in. And that'll all be done through the Steam group, which you can join in the link down below as well. Stay tuned. We will be right back in just a moment with some more amazing Go4Evolve action here today with the finals coming up soon. Thanks for watching.